Yes, this would be a vlog. Vlog. Not a log, but a vlog. Indeed. The game that's playing in the background would be EVE Online. Nothing interesting is going to happen, I can assure you of that. It's just me flying around. I just thought it would be more peaceful and enjoyable than being able to see my ugly face. My ugly face will give you nightmares, whereas EVE will put you into a coma. There's a good difference there. Before we go any further, I just would like to say that if I sound a little bit odd today, I apologise for that. The reason is that I'm dosed up on enough painkillers to put a horse into a coma. I've actually got really severe nerve problems in my jaw at the moment, which I've had to book an emergency hospital appointment for on Monday, going down to London. Now, this might actually affect this week's schedule, and it shouldn't hopefully affect next week's. But this would be because I've got to go down to London for it, and that's actually quite pricey, which means that it's going to take a nasty chunk out of my budget. Anyway, with that in mind, I'm going to look down at the piece of paper that's in front of me and see what's next on the wonderful pad that I've written for what I want to talk about. And that would be the schedule for next week, as I've just mentioned it. The schedule for next week and the week coming after that, and just the short term as a whole, would be Duke Nukem tonight or sometime over the weekend. Then, of course, an OST a few days later. Then next week, the game that I've chosen to have a look at for first glance would actually be Alice Madness Returns. I know Dungeon Siege 3 is coming out the same day, I believe, but Alice is a game that really is on my radar. And Dungeon Siege 3 wasn't that impressed with 2. I might be able to pick up 3 and have a look at it, but I'm going to focus on Alice. Also in the short term, I can actually say that there's another collab coming up between me and the very awesome Total Biscuit. We've been trying to get one done for the past week now, but he's been very busy and I've been horribly ill. Looking a little bit further than that into the medium term, wonderful phrase, medium term, I'm actually looking to start putting out content on a weekly basis up to 4 videos a week. Now, when I say up to 4, what I mean is I'm actually looking to not go any lower than about 3. I'm looking to put out 1 AFG and 1 OST a week, as well as something new. And this is where I actually get to announce the wonderful new idea that I've been playing with, and I will do a tiny little drum roll on my desk and hopefully not deafen you with it. There you go. The new idea would be a show called Cheap Thrills, which I can't actually take credit for thinking of the title. That would actually be a very good friend of mine from the Cynical Brit Ventrilo, actually, who, after running the idea past him, came up with a wonderful title for it, which is Cheap Thrills. The premise of the show will be focusing on games that are a little older and a little bit cheaper. So if you're looking for a game that's going to keep you interested for a few hours, but not have to pay full-on price for it, this is where Cheap Thrills comes in. It's going to be focusing on the games that are on sale in Gamersgate, maybe Steam, Direct to Drive, and I keep dropping my pen. I'm going to stop doing that now. And if there's no games on sale, or if the games that are on sale aren't going to appeal to the larger audience, so if it's going to be something like Euro Bus Simulator, for example, I may not do a video on that, and I may actually go back to the vast backlog of games that I have and pick something from there that's a few years old now. It'll be focusing on games that are cheaper, but still great, and we'll explain to you why they were good in the day, why you should have a look at it now. It'll kind of encompass both a first look and an overall review of it into one, and will hopefully enable you to maybe find some gems that you missed. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's a great idea, as it's not going to really tie into First Glance or Second Thought, but it's a show that's going to be able to stand on its own 2 feet and really kind of pack its own punch. And you don't really see it that much. You see reviewers doing games of all the stuff that's coming out these days and the indie games and the big titles, but you never really see anyone kind of focusing on stuff that's a little bit older now and appeals to the guy who really wants to kind of, save a few bucks. Maybe they wait a little bit for games to come out, or maybe they just miss something. there's quite a few games that have come out that I've actually missed. Not only from this year, but also from years gone by. One of the games that I can actually think of straight off the top of my head is Bulletstorm. I've still never played Bulletstorm because it actually came out while I was having surgery on my hand. Anyway, getting off the track here, let's get back onto it. And long term. So I've explained what the plan is for the short term, medium term, which is a bit of an odd saying. And now I just want to briefly cover the long term. The long term has some very fantastic, wonderful things in it for me and for you guys. I'm always looking at the bigger picture and where I can go from here. I'm very much a driven person and I don't like standing still. I always like heading forwards. So I've got lots of ideas that I'm running with, lots of ideas that I'm being given by other people. You can expect to see collabs coming in the future. You can actually expect to see some dry run of me casting stuff. I've been asked over the past month quite a few times now to cast smaller SC2 tournaments and HON tournaments and even a LOL one, which I couldn't do. Like, LOL is terrible in my mind in regards to trying to actually commentate on it. But HON and StarCraft 2, both games I play, both games that I've been asked to do and I've been tempted, but I don't believe I'm good enough. So you may start seeing dry runs and me just commentating replays and stuff appearing online for you to be able to laugh at my horrific failings. Also, in long-term regards to the shows, you can start seeing, well, you can start expecting to see content on a daily basis. The idea is that I'm actually going to eventually ramp it up and do 2 first glances, 2 second thoughts, 2 cheap throws a week, as well as something else that I'm not sure what yet. So you'll be looking at content on a daily basis that's planned, but you may also see other things appearing out of nowhere. On top of that, there's also tons of other stuff that I'm playing around with. There's competitions and the Justin TV stream stuff I do and all kinds of wonderful things. And I'm really looking for ways to give back to you guys, which is where the competitions come in. And I'm really kind of curious to test some social experiments with that. But any competitions I do, I will say right now, I will never ask you to favorite a video to enter. Never. I'm not going to do that. And I hope that's something that you like the fact that I'm not going to do. So I hope you love the ideas that I've come up with. I hope you're really looking forward to the things that I'm going to do in the future. And I'd love to hear any feedback, comments, criticisms, questions down in the comments below. And with all that in mind, and the fact that you're probably all either in a coma by now from having to watch E for that long, or you've been blinded by the sun I flew past a few minutes ago, I say we should leave it there. Hope you like the ideas that are actually coming in the short future and in the long term as well. And so we should leave it there. Leaving left.